I spent 5.5 years studying men and their type. It drove me nuts, this topic, men and their type. And one of the things that I wanted to share men and type with you, one of the reasons I wanted to share this with you was because one of the things that we try to do when we first meet a man is we try and attract him. It's just biological. We use our wit and our intellect and our beauty, and we try and attract him. It's how we get him. We attract him with our sexual attraction and physical attraction and our smarts. And then once we think that we're dating, we try and keep attracting him. Like, we got to up our game. We got to go shopping now because he's already seen all our cute outfits. We got to become more attractive. We need to buy shiny hair products and become more attractive. Maybe some perfume with the pheromones to trick him to be more attractive, right? And the really good news is men are either attracted or they're not. On sight. You're either in or you're out. And it can be heartbreaking if you're out and you wanted to be in, but it's kind of good news. Because if a man says to you, I really like you, I think you're amazing, and I'm not attracted to you, you should listen to him. You shouldn't try and flip him. And we as women have the luxury of, from time to time, being attracted to men who we weren't originally attracted to. They can grow on us. But for most men, we don't grow on them. It's a yes or a no, and they don't have any say about it. And it's heartbreaking to them. I say we have the luxury. It's heartbreaking to them because there are women in men's life that they adore, that they wish they could move beyond a sister-type relationship, but it's just not there. It just doesn't ever grow. So, what a relief. If you are his type, you're in. And as you age and things drop and relocate to different parts of your body, you're still going to be his type. And when you gain a little weight or you lose a little weight, you're still going to be his type. So we can kind of relax around that. And why I was so driven nuts by it is because we have these archetypes, long, blonde, and lean, or petite, curly, brunette, fit girl, or redhead, buxom girl. We have all these archetypes or stereotypes about what is a type, but they're not that narrow. They're not that shallow. And, even if you're married and your husband says, well, Cameron Diaz is my type and you don't look anything like Cameron Diaz, don't worry, you're also his type. He would have never married you, and they have all kinds of types. And why it drove me so insane for 5.5 years is because the very first man out of my marriage, first date number 1, he and I fell in love, and we were together about 1.5 years. And it didn't work because we were both newly out of a divorce, and we lived in a very small town, Sonoma, California. And I knew his ex-wife. And he swore we were the same type, me and his ex-wife. Totally the same type. Now, at that time, I had long red hair to the middle of my back, green eyes because I wore contacts. I weighed about 250 pounds. You got that picture? His ex-wife was about 95 pounds wet, about a foot shorter than me, Italian, pixie haircut, brown eyes, not my personality, not in my tribe, not my flavor at all. You couldn't get further apart between the two of us if you tried. To this day, he swears we're the same type. So you can never guess. You can never think, well, his last girlfriend or his ex-wife was, so I'm not. Or am I his type and his ex-wife wasn't? No. And how you can really relate to it is the two things, the takeaway from type that I want you to have is you're either in or you're out. And if he asks you out on another date, you're in. You're in. So you don't need to worry about it. You can stop running out and buying new outfits and just wear the ones that make you happy. You don't need to buy that shiny hair product. You don't need to work so hard about it.
This can save us all a lot of money.
I know, right? A lot of grief, and a lot of money. So one of the takeaways is you're in. And the other takeaway is you can think about it from your type. I mean, I have all kinds of types. James Spader's my type. Snoop Dogg is my type. They're not the same. Hugh Laurie, my type. Again, not the same. So just like you have many different types, he has many different types. And the most important thing is if you're dating or you're married, you're his type. What do you want to say about that?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize and echo something that you said here. I do believe that men typically do know almost immediately within those first few minutes if you are his type. And I think, yes, we could save ourselves a whole lot of heartache and frustration from not trying to flip him, as you said. I mean, during my dating for decades, I invested in one relationship with one man for a long, long time, and he had all of these amazing qualities and was perfect for me in so many ways, and we were very, very close in terms of the things that we shared, and we could talk for hours and hours, and we could laugh and laugh and laugh, and he would even take me on really nice dates, but for whatever reason, I think I'm a pretty attractive woman, but for whatever reason, I just did not flip his switch in that way. And I think, Wendy, he really loved me, and I really loved him, but I invested a lot of my precious time and energy in hoping that I could flip him. And I always talk about the three F words that I think can, let's just say, foul up your love life. And those are fears, fantasies, and falsehoods. And being in this idea of fantasy is where I was at. I was fantasizing that if I could just get this or that or whatever to work, then it would flip his switch and that this relationship would work. But it was a fantasy because it just was not going to happen. And it wouldn't have happened to this day if I'd have been single. It still would have never happened. And so I think that I just want to say that I completely agree with you. And also to emphasize this point, I do think as women, we do have the luxury of that attraction sometimes growing with men that we don't expect. That's happened with many of my clients. Now, okay, let's face it, if you go out with them for the first time and your skin crawls, that's probably not going to happen. But if you go out with him and you think, well, okay, I don't know, he's not really my type, you might think that, or, he's a little skinnier than I like. That's what one of my clients said. He's skinnier than I want. But now my client, after getting to know this man and his heart and his character and how he stepped up and showed up for her and makes her feel so cherished and loved and adored, she's head over heels in love with him and thinks he's the sexiest man alive now. But that was not her initial reaction to him. And because of the other things she was telling me about him, I was saying, give it a little more time. See him a few more times, see how you feel. And she's told me over and over again, I'm so glad that I did that because she's in her 60s. She's now engaged. They're building a house together. She's like a 20-year-old in love. It's really fun.
Yeah, I hear that story too. And it's the ones you want to give a chance to, again, like Michelle said, not the one that makes your skin crawl, not him, not the one that you're so bored that, you could eat that for lunch tomorrow and spit it out and be done. Not that guy. But the one you really like, that it's just not quite who you'd normally have thought you'd pick for yourself, but you like him. That's the one you give a chance to. And I want to say one more thing about type. You can flip him. You really can. And the way you flip him is you put out and exude a ton of sexual energy. If you just just put it out there, a ton of sexual energy, you can flip him and you could trigger that sexual creature in him and you could get him to go home with you. And you could probably do it again and again. But the work that it takes to put out that level of sexual energy when you're not his type is exhausting. And if you've ever done it, I've done it, and if you've ever done it, you know the difference when you look back in your history. The men who, for you felt beautiful and liked and smart and funny and attracted to, that's a very different feeling than I had to have him, so I made it happen. It's not lovely. That feeling is not lovely, and it's exhausting.
Yeah, it's not lovely. And after I shared with you this long-term, on-again, off-again, I don't even know if we call it a romance or a relationship that I invested so much in with this man, I came to a realization finally that I really wanted and deserved to be with someone that I knew really wanted and felt like it was his most wonderful, best choice to be with me. I wanted that. I wanted someone that I knew had chosen me and I had chosen him, and we were both ecstatic to be together. I didn't want to be someone who worked my way into getting him to kind of like me and possibly commit to me and out of obligation. You know, who wants that? No one wants that. So You're right, that energy that you would have to expend to continue that kind of a relationship it's just too much.
Yeah. That happened to me with first date number 5, and he's a good friend of mine, and he wanted to see if he could try it out. He's like, let's try it out. Let's see if you can grow. You're not my type, but let's see if you can grow on me. And I said, oh no, we're not doing that. Oh no.
Good choice.
But for the same reason that you just said. I mean, there was just no way that I was gonna be with somebody who didn't look at me like he adored all of what I look like and who I am.
Yeah. Someone that sees all of you with all of what you might consider your flaws and frailties and all of your lovely, beautiful qualities. He can see all of you and think you're still just the most amazing woman on the planet. That's what we all want, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.